What's up everyone, Scott here. Today we're going to look at the brand new amp simulator just released about 30 minutes ago from Solemn Tones. It's called Runeforge Fenrir, and it sounds a little something like this. Alright, so that's what it sounds like in the context of a mix. It's banging, it does the thing, it works. Now I have a document open here. I want to cover a couple points that I just don't want to get wrong, because it's important to follow these points as I show you the amp simulator later on. So Fenrir, was made with models of a real amplifier through machine learning. Now, I'm not a machine learning expert. However, I understand that there is an algorithm or a calculation where it keeps running through the amp to learn the amp, and then it just continues to build the profile of it through time, continuously running, I don't know, like a frequency or something like this. But it's more accurate than just programming it through code. Just listen to various amp simulators. You know, all amp simulators are not equal. Some are created better than others, some sound better than others, and it comes down to coding most of the time. With coding, there are approximations, so you kind of have to guess. You know what I mean? Like here's noon on the gain, and what does the gain sound like if it's just a little bit past noon between 1 o'clock, right? That would be an approximation. Now, it's important to understand this is machine learning because the gain knob is stepped. I'll show you what that means later. So the amplifier captures went through a Neve 5052 preamp, so good quality. And this was all done at Sand Lane recording facilities. So if you know Epica, Powerwolf, or Blind Guardian, you know the work of Sand Lane. So pretty high quality, good stuff. Now, there's a lot of other things here that are pretty simple. I'll show you guys when I show the interface. There's one thing that I want to make a note of here that is unique to this amp simulator other than the machine learning aspect. There is a Dirty Tree boost pedal from Pepper's Pedals. Pepper's Pedals, Dirty Tree boost pedal. Dirty Tree boost pedal, Pepper Pedals. Yeah, great. That you cannot interact with. So what that means is they have a setting of the gain on the amp, and then they did the setting on the pedal, and then they did the machine learning profile through that. So you can't actually change the pedal at all. You can't interact with it. They've given two reasons here. One is a technical reason, and one is more of a philosophical reason. So the first reason they state is the boost always colors the amp. True. And there is no digital approximation that fully captures the accuracy of how the pedal messes with or changes and colors the amp in the analog realm. This is all true, as I talked about earlier with the machine learning process versus coding process and approximations. That's technically correct, okay? But I think that's the second reason. I think is the main reason why they've done what they've done. And this is, I want to read verbatim from here. Point number 2 is, we appreciated Pepper's Pedals agreeing to let us use these amazing tones in our virtual amp, okay? And we do not wish to reduce sales of their physical product in any way. Boutique gear shops deserve the support, and us digital companies would have nothing to model without them. The way to solve this problem, in my opinion, would be to just license the intellectual property of Pepper's Pedals, and a percentage of each sale of this plugin will just go to Pepper's Pedals. Therefore, at least their branding and their intellectual property and all the work they've done to build up their brand over the years, they would still that would still be valuable. Anyway, I know that's a big, huge debate that's been going on for years, ever since the Kemper hit the scene and modeling has hit the scene. And so those are the two things I really wanted to mention here that I did not want to get wrong. So that's why I'm reading directly off of the information sheet that I was given. Now, let's get out of there and let's look at the plugin. Here we go. So the plugin has the standard, let me move over here in case you can see me. So the plugin has the standard design, you know, Neural-esque in terms of you have 3 separate pages here and you kind of run into the mouse clicking situation. Now, when I looked at MLC, the Sub-Zero, or I guess it's the S_0 now, I did like where they're trying to implement a better GUI experience because all this clicking can kind of get annoying after a while. That said, there's not a lot of things that you need to click all over the place because this plugin is pretty much good to go right when you load it. Now, this is exactly the settings I use. I just used the modern rhythms. I touched nothing in the pedal section. I don't even know. Oh, excuse me, I did. I increased the low and the highs and the mids all at the same time for the EQ. Obviously, this will go into the boost, so it's a direct DI EQ. So we're boosting that into the boost, which, as I said earlier, you cannot do anything with. So this is just, it looks cool, but you can't do anything with it. This goes to the amp and cab, which is, I mean, again, by the design, now that it's white, I guess I should make the connection that this is probably the white version of the EVH. Your IRs are down here. It's all very simple, okay? And the effects, all very simple. You've got a chorus, delay, and reverb, which is everything that you would need if you wanted to do leads and things like that. I didn't even bother trying to work on leads. I'm mostly a rhythm player, so if it doesn't do chug, I really don't care that much. It chugs nicely. All right, so the interface, as you can see, very simple. Easy to use. Now, here's a couple things that I want to mention. So remember how I mentioned earlier, it's machine learning. So the gain is stepped. You can see we go to specific settings here. Like I can't go in between. So everything is stepped here. So what I'm assuming is that each stepped gain setting was adjusted in the real world analog realm and then machine learning processed through that. Now, I'm curious about this because these are not stepped, you know, here in the lows and stuff like that. So I'm assuming there is some kind of programming or some kind of approximation happening here with the Tonestack because there's no way that the gain would be stepped, right? But then this is free flowing. I don't really know how that works. But that's the one thing to keep in mind, okay? The carb here is a high pass, low pass, your level, presence, highs, mids, lows. Everything else here is exactly what you would expect it to be. You have a high definition, standard definition for different levels of fidelity for the plugin. Mono stereo. My opinion is if you're double tracking, you should always put it on a bus track or a group track in Cubase and run it in stereo mode to save on the CPU. That's the plugin. It's very simple. Let's go ahead and I'm going to start a new session so we can start chugging out some tones so I can show you guys some raw tones here and see what everything sounds like. Actually, what I did, I just disabled all the plugins and I grabbed the guitar. So the demo song that I played is in drop D, actually, so quite high tuned. And so what I did is I figured for demonstration purposes now, I'll grab my BC Rich here, Virgo, and drop A. And let's just see what we can do in drop A now. What I did is I just reloaded the plugin. So this is stock, how it comes when you insert it. So it sounds perfectly fine, actually. Totally usable. A little low on the gain. But before we mess with the gain, let's actually start messing with the EQ to see if we can kind of pump it up a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of brightening the DI a little bit and then also doing some low cut here because I'm in drop A. It could get a little flabby going into the plugin. Gate, I'm not going to mess with and can't do anything with the boost. So now, what I would suggest you do is you really just go ahead and do the carve right away. Remember, that's the high and low pass. I'm going to mess with the gain to get a gain structure that I feel comfortable with. So I want something that chugs. maybe a bit more saturated. So remember, this is stepped, so every step changes. Okay, right here is where I'm starting to feel a major difference both in the saturation and the distortion. It's even a tonal characteristic difference here. There's more, to me, feels like there's more presence here in this setting. Yeah, nice. Very good. I like that I haven't really messed with anything else. I think Fenrir is really going to be an amp sim where you just want to set the gain, and then you kind of leave it alone. You can adjust the tone stack, although the tone stack feels very subtle with this amp sim. That's pretty cool. The gain setting is pretty high, but it seems to sound good with what I want. So let's see if we can tweak this just a little bit more. I'm going to go down to the IR section here and see what we can get for IRs. And let's go. Me personally, none of these IRs really work for me, but that's me. There's no angle here that I can see. Cutting edge. Maybe I'm not getting the names of these. This is part of the thing that I suck at. I can't guess the names of things with... Like, this one's pretty obvious what this is. Eevee. The age of Eevee makes pretty bright. Okay, great. But I can't say these IRs are anything personally for me that I would be like, ooh. It'll work, though. Let's just stick with the bright boogeyman. Okay, so now I'm going out of tune a little bit, and this brings me to my first point. This all sounds great, by the way. I'm fine with this. You know, it's this would totally work, and obviously I created a great demo song with it. And this is, before I go on, actually, let me just talk about this. This is pretty much the amp sim. It's very simple. The effects are nice. Can definitely get your black metal going. Nice delay, and I never use chorus for anything, but So the effects do the thing, they make perfect sense, and they work in the context of the mix especially. The reason I wanted to talk about that really quick is because basically I have two things about this amp sim that I think are a bit lacking. I've already discussed this with Solemn Tones. They totally agree, and they will be in a future update. They'll be addressed. But this is the version I have now, so I'd like to talk about it. First and foremost, there's no tuner, so I've just gone out of tune. I need to do my tuning again. I can't. I would have to load in a third-party tuner to do the tuning. They already know about this. Like I said, they're going to add a tuner in a future update. And then the second thing I want to talk about is obviously I spent some time loading loading different cabinet impulses. And if you click here, I've already loaded a couple here. Now the cool thing is that it kind of saves all the. So this is the same session I've been working in. It saves the IRs that you've loaded in the session. So this is really nice. But here's what happens. So if we're playing, right, and it's perfectly fine. See, I'm an Angle fan, so it's already closer to what I would personally like. But if we go here, we just keep going. Cool, cool, cool. You notice I gotta click everything. Now, one of the bugs that I found was, let's say I have this on access here. See what happened? So it was on access. I closed the plugin and I loaded it again, and it jumps up to this one here. Again, this bug has already been reported. I've already told Solemn Tones about it. They're already going to fix it. But like I said, this is the version that I have now, so I have to be honest and talk about what I have now. But I'm not concerned. Solemn Tones have always fixed bugs. They're on top of it. Basically, when Solemn Tones says it's going to get fixed, it's going to get fixed. It's not one of these, sure, yeah, cool, and then 3 years later, it's still a problem. Not the case at all with Solemn Tones. They are pretty much on the ball when it comes to bugs. So I would bet you that within days or even a week of my video coming out, this is already fixed. And it's just, you can just ignore all of this, okay? All right, but again, this is the version that I have, so I can talk about what I have. The other thing that's kind of screwy about the IRs here is it's when you click here to load an IR, it just goes to this, I'm going to call it some random folder. This particularly doesn't make sense. There should be probably either a prompt for me to pick which folder I want to begin with, or at least an option to set a default folder. Again, this is something I've already discussed with them. For me, I have folders pinned, so I just go to impulse responses. It's not that huge of a deal for me. But the other thing I guess I could show you is you can't shift click. So I'm holding shift and I can't select multiple IRs to load at the same time. So I have to load everything individually right now. Once again, I've already noted this. I've already told Solemn Tones all about this, about shift clicking and these quality of life things that I believe should be implemented. They totally agree. They're going to get to work on it. So like I said, probably by the time you see this video, if you're watching this a week, definitely a month from when this video has come out, it's probably already fixed. Not even an issue, okay? But how this thing sounds fantastic. It's very affordable. All right, so I had to double check the prices because I'm filming this video obviously before the page is live on the website. But I have double checked with Solemn Tones. So the intro price is going to be $49.99. Now, the cool thing is that because I've been doing so much stuff with Solemn Tones over many, many years, he did put together a coupon code for you guys as well that you can use for an extra 20% off during Black Friday. So its intro price is $49.99. And then when you go click the link below to the website, put Chernobyl 2023 into the coupon code, and you'll get an extra 20% off the price during Black Friday. Pretty ridiculous, pretty affordable. I think this definitely gives a run for the money of many current amp simulators. Plus, it has that EVH sound, if that's kind of what you're into. Okay. It works well with drop tune guitars. As you heard, we dialed the tone in really quick. It worked quite nicely. Works fine with drop D and higher tunings as well. I think this is a really cool thing that a really cool thing that Solemn Tones has decided to do. They've done a lot of great MIDI-esque style plugins like Odin 2, Loki Bass, obviously, which I think I'm using on this mix, if I remember correctly. And before I leave, let me show you guys one last thing that Solemn Tones has decided to do. and they really wanted to really make it awesome, give you guys a chance to at least try it. They have made the mini Fenrir. Now, this is kind of just what you see is what you get. And that's it. You can't really do anything with the Tonestack or anything like that. It's just a mini Fenrir to let you guys play with the sound so you can see if you like it or not. And this is completely free. You can go to the download section of the website and get it totally free. Now, obviously, you have a little bit of a little ad right here to upgrade to the full version of Fenrir, which I think you should do if you like it. I mean, so go to the website, download the mini Fenrir, jam on it a little bit. If it sparkles for you, upgrade your Fenrir. Make sure you use my code Chernobyl 2023, 20% off. I don't get any commissions for that. It's just a cool code that Solemn Tones has done for you guys to give you a bit more savings during the Black Friday season. I don't get any commissions at all for any sales whatsoever. The video is only sponsored, and I've only received the plugin for the video. So I just wanted to be upfront about that. Okay, so that about does it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments or what you might want to see in the future, leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.